I've spent $100,000 in the last 30 days profitably for this one account alone. As you can see, the cost per purchase is significantly lower than the average ad account. All right guys, so in this video, I want to show you the proven strategies so that you can easily implement them step by step correctly for your brand and how to get results as quickly as possible. And no, you don't need to be advanced or have a ton of prior experience to make this work for your brand. A little bit more on that here in a second. So if you guys did not know, your ads are ranked against others that look just like it. Honestly, you're in a bidding war. Your job is to create a better ad, and this is how you do it. So essentially, we'll get into some specifics here, but number one, easiest way here is research. I know that sounds crazy. And let me see if I spelled that correctly. Research. So anyway, research, this never actually stops. You continue to do it over and over and over again. What does research actually look like? It means going to your competitors, people who are roughly the same size. I'm looking for the same size person. I don't want you to go after the big brands yet. However, there's some more on that a little bit later I'll hit on. If you are a brand making 6 figures per year, go after somebody like that. If you're on Instagram right now and they have 10,000 followers, look at what they're doing. Somebody who's at 15 to 20. Don't be looking at the people who do 1 million. The game is not the same there. The second thing you have to do when you are running really good ads, other than meeting your audience where they're at, which like I said, we'll go really deep in this video and I'll actually show and build this out for you. But number two, it does not work without a good offer, right? If nobody knows who you are, for example, almost everybody knows who Nike is. So they can take a plain black t-shirt like this, which I think this is technically Calvin Klein. You can take Calvin Klein at this point, and or I could have bought a black shirt. It's probably just like this from Walmart for $5, or because it's Calvin Klein, I probably paid 15 or 20. If you paid Nike, you're gonna pay more. It's the exact same product, probably. I don't know, this one feels good. If you don't have an offer, and especially as a new brand, it's gonna be very difficult to try to run or grow. And now, an offer does not mean discount, okay? You do not have to give 20% off. You don't have to give 30% off. You don't have to do all of those things. An offer could be buy one, get one, or it could be free shipping over a certain amount, or it could be a free gift. I like the free gift. Or it could be same day shipping, or next day shipping, or 2-day shipping. All of those are really good marketing words to make us feel like we're getting something fast, which I love. Your offer doesn't have to be a discount. Now, third thing, probably the biggest part here, and like I said, we'll spend a good chunk on this, is your creative. It doesn't matter if it's an image or a video, but the ad needs to articulate who you're actually going after. So if you're selling this t-shirt, here, Franklin, come draw me a t-shirt over here.
A few moments later.
I've got an amazing t-shirt here. Thank you, Franklin. You guys don't want to see my t-shirt. The point is, it doesn't matter if it's an image or a video, it just needs to articulate what it is that you're selling. Because if this had, for example, an MJ here, now the shirt is catered towards a very specific audience versus if it was just a plain t-shirt or going after somebody that said Tom Brady. I'm speaking of sports here, but my point is that if this had Michael Jordan on it, now I'm honestly interested in what's happening. And so it articulates that this is a shirt for people who like basketball, more specifically the GOAT.
You hear what he said?
I heard what he said.
Did you hear what he said?
I heard what he said.
And so now the content appeals to me. If the image or the video doesn't articulate who you're going after, then it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter if it's an image or a video. This is kind of a bonus one for you. Let's do green for bonus. Number 4, bonus. The more niche, the more specific that you can be, the better your chances of success will be. Now, we'll get into the creative here shortly, and I'm gonna talk about this in depth, but I just wanna give you that breakdown here of like, how do the ads actually work? Sometimes people go into Ads Manager and they push create and they create sales, which we're gonna get into, but then people just talk and they don't actually know this psychology or the reason that somebody buys on the ad. They're like,
well, I'd follow the ad setup the exact same way.
Well, then how come every single video on the internet that's talking about Facebook ads, people get different results? And they set it up very similarly because of these other elements that are talking about here. I'm trying to do my best Vena. Is it Vena? My best Vena at this point. So let's get into this. Most people ask what makes a good piece of creative for their ads, and honestly, the answer depends, but I'm gonna give you some real examples that you can use in your business to increase the likelihood you will have success. But before we do that, I just wanted to say a quick hey, howdy, and hello. My name is Aaron. I'm one of the co-founders here at Bitbranding, and alongside my business partner, Christian, who specializes in helping with Shopify and the website and the tech side of things. We are only focused on serving you as clothing brand owners, whether you're a private label, a boutique, streetwear brand, it doesn't matter. That's the only people we serve. In the last 12 months, we've served over 250 clothing brands. Please, if you are a clothing brand, just give us a nice little like and subscribe. We would appreciate it. And if you do this in the next 3 seconds, I'll share with you the greatest TV show from the early 1990s. Okay, so we're gonna go over to what we call our content scaling strategy. If you want this document, it is for only our OSO members or Optimized Store Program members who are part of this. But because you're watching this YouTube video and I like you, if you comment the word scaling strategy, or even just strategy down below, I will send you over this document. We're not gonna get into the specifics of the document as much as we are going to get into the concept styles. Essentially, there are 10 types of content that you can use to create and grow your brand. And the only reason that your ads are probably not working or scaling almost always comes down to content. So we have here an example of headline. So headline, we used to call these graphic text, but essentially it is text on the actual screen. The only linen suit you'll ever need. Gorjana has it over here. Jewelry you'll love forever. A new perspective on performance apparel. So if you are a athletic line, if you are a women's like undergarment line, no more cough and clinch. My point is, this is just text on screen that also helps with the person identifying who is actually going to buy this type of product. Here's a cool flat lay, different perspective here, may look like a different shirt. Built Different is who did this. Some text, they have a lot of reviews. So all of these are things that you could use as an example. Like I said, I can send this over to you guys. Fit videos, they have bullet points. I like bullet points as well. So flat lays or headlines, you don't have to, you can do a headline video or image. Flat lays, you can do very easily. These are all images, so again, you don't have to shoot a video, but like this is great. Your perfect airport outfit. I give that example in a previous video. It's like, cool, this is a perfect airport outfit. What do you need? Versatile styling, functional, comfort first designs, shop now. Boom, right there. All of these are really good examples. We try to update these, I would say, once a week, every 2 weeks, we get them and we save them, and then we just put them into different boards based off of what it is we're actually seeing and what's working. You can do before and afters, you can do reviews. I love the reviews ones because this adds in not only great creative, but good social proof as well. It's like, oh, this is amazing. Here's an actual quote. For example, you know, we're not selling Higgsfield, but they do a great job with their ads. Bird dogs, my favorite pants that I can never buy. Please let me know when 3632 are back in stock. So cool. So he's saying that these are amazing. I just can't get enough of them. Reviews, actual screenshots of one. So pretty cool stuff. These are ads that, again, that we have seen that work really well, and we continue to add into them as well. I wanted to pull up a couple of these mostly to show you guys, hey, you can mimic some of these things, and once you get the document, the content scaling strategy document, you can actually go to each one of these. It's through a 4-play link and just start using these as inspiration, a good starting point. Now, remember, please remember this. It is better to be different than it is to be better. So as you're going through this, or as you are going through anything with your brand, think about a way to stand out, not to blend in. So when you're copying or mimicking these examples, make sure that you put your own twist on it. Please, please make sure that you do that, because they're gonna work well, but it could be much better if you stood out. I remember for the longest time, we cared so much about specific numbers inside of Ads Manager. I'm gonna pull this back up. All right, so we cared about so many different things. We're like, oh, cost per click, it has to be under $2, or it can't be a certain amount. Now look, I understand that this is below the $2. I understand that the CPM or the cost to reach, you know, to have 1,000 impressions is good, quote unquote. But those numbers do not matter. Even the ROAS doesn't matter, because you've got to go in through something like Triplewell, which is like a third-party attribution software to actually tell you the real numbers. So even though this says 2.85, it actually could be a 3.5 or a 4, or it could be a 1.5. I do know that these numbers are much better than that, so it is, you know, profitable. But my point is that all of these other numbers, they don't really tell the full story. I'm looking at cost per purchase, and you may say, I don't have any purchases yet. Not a problem. You can start to look at, and one number I do like to look at is, because most of the problems actually come down to one thing and one thing only. All right, unique link click-through rate. Basically, is the creative good? And if you have a good link click-through rate, then it's probably decent. So we have a 5% and a 7% link click-through rate. So we know our creative is good. Now everything else, the add to cart, all of those other numbers, whenever they get to the website, it's like, that's probably nothing to do with ads. What, am my ads not working, or is it really everything else? Is my messaging off when I get to the website? Does it load slow? A lot of times the problem is your website, not necessarily your ads, unless your ads or your creative absolutely stinks. So that being said, don't pay too much attention to those numbers. They do matter, and I will give you an answer. So cost per 1,000 impressions, or a CPM, I would love to be below $25 for the clothing niche. If it is cost per click, yeah, $2 to $3 less than that. I mean, great, that's where we want to be. The ROAS needs to be profitable for you. Some of you guys may be profitable at a 2. Some of you may need a 4. It really depends. And if you're not using third-party tracking, you probably don't know your real numbers. So I would suggest to do it. This is a small plug for them. We do have a discount code in the description for Triple Well. I would highly suggest to do it. Whether you use us or you don't, it's a very powerful tool to help you grow your brand and have the insight into what it's doing. Now, if you're not spending $100 a day, it may not make sense, and they have a free option. But if you are spending more than $100 a day and you don't know where your sales are coming from, highly suggest it. Even to this day, we get questions a lot about how someone can change up their ad because the cost per click is too high. I'm here to tell you that those numbers do not matter, but I'll share with you how to adjust your ads to lower your cost per purchase. But first, most important thing here is just hold up 1 second. I just want to say that if you are a clothing brand owner, you're in the right spot. But if you want to jump into the specifics of your brand and how to grow it profitably online, you can schedule a free 45-minute strategy session with us. There are limited spots. Go find a time on the calendar that works best for you. Check out the link in the description down below. Okay, so let's jump into Ads Manager, and let me share with you the exact setup that is working right now. And yes, this is updated with Flexible. So we're inside of Ads Manager right now. I am not going to create a new campaign for real because this account is doing well. However, I will show you the setup, and then I will rebuild a campaign that I will not launch. But I will show you everything here. So what does the setup look like? It is a CBO, or campaign budget optimization, which means we have several ad sets that are running right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is more than we would suggest to do. 5 ad sets, we would not suggest more than 3. We're spinning in too many places right now inefficiently, but it's still doing well. However, we gotta cut our fat. CBO though, it gives the budget to each ad set with what's working right now. With Flexible, as we switch things over, this is actually gonna change. I'll draw this out for you. We've talked about it before, but on Facebook ads, but I wanna kind of hit on it here a little bit as well. So the budget's being divided, as you can see over here. So $3,000 here, $210 here, $22,000, $14,000. This is where this amount is being spent. And then on the ad level, we have several different ads that are running, a lot of different DCT or dynamic creative tests, and then we also have seen some winning post IDs. Yeah, a lot of different ads running right now. So this is inside of Ads Manager, but I want to hit real quickly into the setup of DCT or dynamic creative testing, and then Flexible. So this is the old way of doing things. So DCT, and then we're moving to what's called Flexible. If you're like, well, that's inside of Facebook ads, you're absolutely right. Ads Manager, the Meta suite in general, so they're all under the same umbrella, Facebook and Instagram. The old way was that we had a campaign, and then we had ad sets. This is campaign, and then ad set. And then inside of there, we could have one DCT ad. Essentially, the budget is distributed throughout this whole area here through the ad set level. Okay, so it's campaign, ad set has the budget, that's where we suggest everything, and then the DCT ad could actually have like 3 different ads inside of each one of them. Just imagine I duplicated here. One ad set, one ad technically, but multiple variations of an ad. So we would do like 3 images that were going after the same offer, 2 headlines, 2 primary text. So you really had, I know it's kind of confusing a little bit, you really had 12 ads right here. So it was simplified. So Flexible looks a little similar. We got the same campaign, then we have an ad set. We could have an ad, an ad, and an ad. And it's basically the same as ad set now. Let me recap this for you real quickly. So there are ad sets, which is like where the budget was typically done. And then you had the DCT ad, which had multiple ads inside. Now, we're only gonna have one ad set and multiple ads that have ads inside of it. So these have basically become our DCT, or our ad set. So inside of here, we could have, for example, we could be testing 3 images, and then 3 images inside of this one, and then 3 images inside of this one. And now it's gonna simplify and it's gonna make it a little bit easier. The reason I feel like it's gonna be easier is because now you're going to be able to turn off just the ad. So before, if you wanted to turn something off, you had to turn off the ad sets to be able to make it work. Now, you can leave the campaign running, you can leave the ad set running. If an ad isn't working, you just kill the ad. You kill the ad. And then these can all keep running, and then we can add in new ones. This takes away everything. So much easier, I think it's gonna be simplified. It's gonna be a better process. It's still just getting a bunch of data. So this is very early, very new way to do this. We're gonna go ahead and hit create, and let me just double check that they actually have this in this account. So that particular ad account, like I said, does not have an actual option for flexible. You may not yet, but once you do, this is what it's gonna look like. So you're gonna go ahead and hit sales, hit continue. Make sure you choose the manual. ASC or Advantage Plus shopping campaigns, a little bit different. Label this, please label this correctly. The new campaign, whatever it is that you're going after. We're not gonna get into the specifics here, but whatever your naming convention is, we usually do, hey, look, this is the top of the funnel because that's really what it is, and then label it for what is actually inside of the ads. Advantage Plus budget on, this is basically the CBO that I was talking about earlier. We're gonna go ahead and go to the ad set level. Typically, this is where you would turn on dynamic creative. They're gonna tell you that this is going away, so we're not gonna turn it on anymore. We're maximizing conversions. We're going for the actual commerce account, so make sure the right commerce account is turned on. We're going for website only, not website and shop. Right now, it's not performing the best that we would like it to. And then go ahead and we're gonna leave it open, age, gender, location. You can change the age well, so then you can see audience controls, you can adjust this. My business can only advertise in a specific location. I think at this point you can leave it running. It really doesn't necessarily matter. Minimum age, I would just change this to the actual minimum age that you want to go after. I guess the minimum is 25. I thought it was going to allow me to do more. Anyway, you can switch to the original audiences if you wanted to. Use the original audience. Advantage Plus audience is going to basically do it for you. It's broad and it's just like, let's just handle it. For the most part, we do that, which means that we're going to go broad with age, gender, location. So 25 to 55. Everything else, detailed targeting, we're not touching. All of these things do not necessarily matter. It's just basically letting you know more about the ads. When you get to the ad level, you're gonna turn on this thing called flexible. And inside of flexible, you can load multiple ads. So we wanna do 2 primary text, shop our latest sale. We can add another option as well. Our latest sale is amazing. 2 headlines, buy now. You should buy now. Add another one. This is amazing. Only 1 description, 2 primary text, 2 headlines. Typically you want to have 1 winning headline from previous ads if you have that, and then 1 new one to be testing against them. Go to the website URL. We're just going to do Bitbranding. Advantage Plus creative optimization. We haven't been turning this on because it's been looking a little bit weird. That may change. We choose the Shop Now button. We do website events. We also do app events. We do offline events. I thought offline events was going away. I still check it. The UR parameters. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is where you would put your Triple Well code. If you have a question on that, you can just message Triple Well. They'll tell you where your code's at if you do not know. And then we add in our media. So when I choose images, I want to make sure that the images are actually relative to what my audience wants, like I mentioned earlier, but also that we're testing the same thing. So if it's a very similar background, if it's a very similar offer, those things all matter. We're just testing creative. So for example, we're testing right now, this is 3 images in the background. There's not really a test other than which one of these has better copy, because that's the offer. Not necessarily a real test I would run. This is just for this actual ad. A real test would be what we talked about earlier with different headlines or different reviews. That's a better way to actually test. But for this, I'm just gonna pull them all in because it's a little bit easier to do so here. So this is what the ad's gonna look like, and that is pretty much it. We have 3 ads running, 3 pieces of creative, 2 headlines, 2 primary text. So we have 12 ads that are gonna run. Okay, I'm gonna show you what this looks like. So when this launches, let's say for example, this ad doesn't do well, we would quick duplicate this and add in our next test. And if one of them didn't work, we just turn this one off. That's it. At the campaign level, all we would do is leave it running. So we have a new ad set that's running, or a new campaign that's running. Same ad set, ad's gonna turn off and on. We're gonna leave the same setup, leave everything how it is. That's it. As we continue to get more and more data on Flexible, I will create more content and videos to show you guys numbers. Right now we're doing a lot of testing, trying to spend as much as humanly possible on this to make sure that Flexible is still the suggestion, which DCT is going away, so it's going to be the suggestion, but how to optimize that. One thing I wanted to hit on is how to create better content. You can use the content scaling strategy, but I want to tell you that more than anything, think about this as a broad approach. So what kind of content would a very broad audience actually like? And I'm gonna change colors here just so I have it. But essentially, if you are a clothing brand and you are selling stuff for Jordan, which there's an OSO program member, he's amazing, from Chicago. Shout out if you're watching the video. But he has all of his clothes match the shoes. Well, what I would do is if I was a sneakerhead, which is who he's selling to, he would create content or do some B-roll of the 5 best drops, I would say Jordan drops, fall 2024, whatever that may be. And if he creates that content and tells you, hey, these are the places, this is where you're gonna find it, here's the information about them, now he's appealing to his audience. And obviously he's wearing his clothes in the background, right? It just goes without saying. But he's gonna reach a much broader audience. And so when you are creating content and you're using our content scaling document to come up with ideas, think broad. You can go narrow later, like definitely give me the flat lays, definitely show me who they are, like our MJ example from earlier, like that all works. But let's go broad as well, because the broader that we can go, the more people we can reach and the more we can actually spin an ad. Okay, now you know how to use Instagram ads. The best thing you can do is actually use Instagram organic to supplement your content and testing. Go watch a video on exactly how to do that right here next. All right, y'all, have a great rest of your day. I will see you next time. And P.S., please make sure you subscribe.